This is the installation video for Beacon Plus for ARB. These are the rectangular kits that replace ARB part number 350080. They replace this lamp here. When you open the kit, you'll have either ordered a Diode Dynamics type bezel like this, which is a standard square for most pod lights that are out there on the market, or you'll get this specific Baja Designs style bezel. There's 3 different flavors of this kit. The flush, which is the kit that you see right in front of you, and then the angled 10 degree, which is right up here. We're going to show that one just in a bit, but the installation is basically the same. There's going to be 2 brackets, 2 bezels, and you'll get 2 bolts and 2 washers per side. In the angled kits, you'll notice that the bracket is the same. It has 2 of these slots, and the bezels are angled slightly to allow the light to be angled. Just note that this angled side, the fat side, goes to the inside of the vehicle if it faces the center line of the vehicle. That will be the orientation for installation. First, we have the bezel, 2 bolts, the light, the bracket, and then the hardware that installs the light. And you'll notice I have this set up already. You just need to pay attention to which side you are actually installing on. The slot that the light is in now is for the driver's side, or the left-hand side, and the other slot is for the right-hand side. So we're just going to show the install on the left side. Now you can see that I've got the light kind of halfway through the slot. It's best in your best interest to leave that loose, as well as these side, when you set up the light, to just leave them a little bit loose. You'll notice I have some non-standard hardware in there, but you will have whatever Baja Designs supplies with the kit, and you use their bracket in this orientation. So just pay attention that you have the bracket in that orientation. If you do it the other way, the kit won't fit, and you'll get a little annoyed with that. But one other thing to note before we move over to the truck is the back of the bezel. The bezel uses these little brass heat inserts. Now, they don't hold any of the weight. They just act as a nut, and that nut also doubles as the component that actually holds the plastic bezel on. So it is very important that the bezel is not over torqued. So first thing to do is you have to drill out these tabs. Once you've removed your original light, these tabs need to be drilled out a little bit to about 1/4 inch. They're going to accept a 6mm bolt, just like this guy. You can test it, make sure they fit. That'll be the first thing to do. Give it a little bit of paint, recoat it however you like, just to keep it from getting rusty. The other thing to check is that these tabs aren't bent. Sometimes they get bent in or out. It's very important that they actually stay quite square to the vehicle, to the face here, just so you can see that. And the reason being is that the plastic bezel actually sits perfectly flush with these, and if they're not, you can actually damage the bezel. So first thing, make sure they're not too bent up. The other thing you're going to need to check is that these tabs are perpendicular to here, to the face of the bumper. And the reason being is that if there's any gap between this and the back of the bezel, you're going to end up pulling out the insert. You can't shim them, so it is advised that you check on the back, but usually what I'll do is grab it with a pair of pliers. I'll show you in a second. I'll grab it with a pair of pliers and adjust them if I need to. So we're just going to use a pair of channel locks here, and you can grab the tab and give it a little tweak towards or away depending on what you need to do. And then the next part of this fit check is going to be actually taking your bezel, and just pay attention to the orientation here. Like you can see, the angle is going to match the front of the bumper, just like that. And you can slip it in, and you can typically feel like here I've got a little bit of a gap, but that's pretty good, right? If this just goes flush, you might want to actually check the back and make sure that they are fairly snug. Or if it's pushed out like this, you've got it bent too much. So just double check that they are there and they do line up with the holes in the back. Okay, and now for the fun part. You can see my light here. So we get some focus. My light here is already set up, as we kind of showed before. The easiest thing to do is to take your bolt and hold it with your fingers just like this, and install it to the back. And now we can take the bezel, make sure the logo's in the right direction, and we can line up our fastener. Okay, one bolt's in, holding it. Adjust the light to the right height. You'll have a little bit of room to go up or down, just like this. You can see it moving up or down. That'll give you the ability to tilt the light back and forth. And you do have the ability to move the light forward and back on the x-axis, just to be able to get your adjustments that you like. I'll snug down the light. And now, if you've left this a little bit loose, I haven't, but you can now adjust the light a tiny bit back and forth, up and down. And that concludes our video.